What's going on, guys? It's your boy Hex TV back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing like a how to make a beat from scratch. Very beginner. If it's your first time ever making beats, considering what's been going on with the coronavirus and the quarantine. I know a lot of people have wanted to get into making music but have no idea where to start. So I'm pretty much just going to break down how you can make your very first beat ever and make it at least half decent without being too trash, like everybody usually is. So let's get right to it. I'm gonna pull up Safari right here. I'm gonna look up FL Studio. FL Studio. I might have caps lock on. FL Studio, first thing right there. Then you pull it up. Download trial is the first thing you want to do, and it's free. The only thing that you are restricted to with the free trial is that you just actually can't. You can save things. It's just that you can't reopen them. You can't open projects with the trial. So let's just say you were working on a beat, and after about like an hour or so, you were like, damn, I need to go do something. I'll come back to it. Can't do that. But other than that, all the functionality is there, except for tiny little things you probably wouldn't need if you're first starting out. So yeah, so you just click this. I already have the full version, but I'm gonna act like it's the free version, and we'll start from there. So just download that, pause the video, download that, and then once you're done, come back. All right, cool. So this is how it's usually gonna look when you pull up the trial. I think everything is open, kind of like this. So what I'm gonna do is kind of walk you through what these buttons up here sort of mean, and then how to use them and things like that. So as soon as you open it up, first thing you want to do is start. These 4 buttons right here are the main used ones. Okay, so if we click this one, brings you to this window right here. This is pretty much your main window where you arrange the song, right? So you'll see how I'll use it to arrange the song. Okay, this right here is this button right here. It's like the 3 lines with the, it looks like a list. It's your channel rack. So this is kind of where all your sounds live. So right here it says kick. This isn't my kick. It's the one that automatically comes when you open it up. It's that sound. And then clap, hat, and snare. So if you want to start programming drums, right? If you wanted to start there, this is where you would start. You would go right to here, and this is kind of where all of your programming is done in this window. Okay, next window is the piano roll. I wouldn't worry about this right now. We will definitely get back to that in a couple minutes. The mixer right here. This is where all of your sounds, the output of your sounds. So like, let's just say you hit the kick, right? And the kick says it's routed to channel 1. What the mixer does is, see each column, numbered column, is its own channel. So if you want to route the kick and affect the kick volume, you do it by, you can see here when the kick is pressed, over here it lights up and it shows how loud it is with the meter. But as far as like volume, if you turn this down and you hit the kick, it's quieter. So this is the volume knob in the mixer. You can right click and click reset to reset it. This is how you mute and unmute by clicking that green dot. And then this channel right here is the master. This is pretty much what is playing out of your speakers. So all of these sounds combined goes out of your speaker through this master chain right here. So this channel, sorry. Cool. So take that off. And then yeah, so those are pretty much the basics. So what I would do is I would go online to Safari before you start completely, because the key to making a good beat is having good sounds. And if you want to just start out and you don't want to spend any money on good sounds or subscriptions and things like that, you can go online and do cymatics.fm, and you can go to free download vault. And their free samples are just as good as their paid stuff. They put a lot of effort into making these as high quality as possible. I'm going to be using the 808 Mob. I downloaded that one, and the 9 God, and I also have Empire, and I think I have some of these, the Lo-Fi one and things like that too. But I'll just stick to the 808 Mob and the 9 God. sample pack. So you can literally click these, add to cart for free, download them, and it's just a bunch of audio files. So what you can do when you're in here, right? Let's just say you wanted a kick and you just wanted to start with drums. That's how I would suggest starting out with drums, because those are the most simple to maneuver when you don't know much about music theory and the way notes work and things like that. So actually I would start out, my samples are over here in the menu, but you can pull up your Finder window and drag those right over, kind of like I'm doing here. So I will go to the 9God. Actually, I'll go to this drums one shots, and then on kicks right here. So I like this one, so I'm just gonna drag it in. Same thing with clap. I actually like this first one right off the bat. I like that one. Hat. Cool. So you have all your sounds in your channel rack, and first thing you want to do now is you want to program them. So what you can do is, if you're just starting out, you don't know how to use MIDI and things like that, you can literally go up here. What I would do is I would make sure it's under pattern, and then so that means that it's gonna do a loop of whatever. See how these are all grayed out right here? It's just gonna do it in the ones that are lit up, and it's just gonna keep looping over and over again. So you can click them in like this, and then right click ones that you don't want to be played. So you'll see, I'll put the metronome on. Also, you can affect the beats per minute. So like here, if I put the metronome on and play, and I turn it up and then turn it down, it goes slower. So we'll do like 100, it's right up here. We'll do 140. That's a very basic tempo. So hi-hats, if you want to just do like type stuff, you can right click, fill each 2 steps, and it literally goes like this. Oh, by the way, that click that's in the background is the metronome up here. It's this button. If you can turn that off, or you can turn it on. So you want, now that you have this, you don't really need the metronome on to keep the beat in your head. So you can just turn that off. So now they're programmed like that. It's just over and over again. Now, if you want to extend it longer, what you can do is you can just go in and you can continue to click every other one like this. Like that, and then it'll just be longer, so it's a bigger loop. So when you get to your clap, you want to since it's about 140 BPM, usually people do it on the 3rd click. So clap like that. So how you would do it is you would click this. See how it's like a group of gray, group of red, and then group of gray. The second group of gray, the first one right here, you would click. So then it would be like this. Like that, and then you want to do it every other group of gray. So the 2nd and 4th one, and then it'll loop. 2nd group of gray, and then 4th group of gray. Also, quick tip to play and stop, just like in most digital audio workstations like FL and Pro Tools and things like that. It's spacebar to play and spacebar to stop. So, and yeah, so that's pretty basic across all digital audio workstations. But if you're brand new, space to start and stop. Okay, so you have the little hi-hat and snare pattern. Then you want to do your kick. So we'll just keep it very basic. Usually kicks start on the 1. Boom, clap, boom, clap. So we'll do something like that. So it's boom, clap, boom, clap, right there. So basically, it's only hitting whatever it's lit up. I can't speak today. Now you want your snare. Okay. So boom, clap, that, boom, clap, like that. And it's all trial and error if you're just starting out. I just know that I had to light those up there from experience, but like of where the thing should be placed to sound a certain way. But if you're just starting out, just do trial and error. And that's your pattern, your basic pattern for now. You can add more kicks in. Cool. So those are your drums right there. So if you want to add a new sound, you drag it in right there. We'll put this to channel 5 on the mixer. 4, 5. Cool. So then that's pretty much our drum pattern right there. So what we can do is you just make sure pattern 1 is selected in the patterns menu. If you go to the paintbrush tool or the pencil tool in this window right here, as long as that is selected, you can paintbrush, bang, right there. And that's your pattern. So you can drag it right into the track. And then if you switch this to song, then it starts playing in this window right here. Instead of just looping the pattern over and over again, it'll play what is displayed here. So if you only put this much, it'll only play up to there, as you can see. Then it goes back. But if you add another one, it goes longer. So now what you want to do is you want to put in a melody. If you're brand new and you don't know how to make melodies, I would suggest using some sample from the packs. Something like melody loops in the pack. That one's spooky. I like that one, so we'll use that one. So you just drag it in here. And since you're in song, it'll play what is displayed here. But if you listen, let me mute this track too. To mute the track, you click the green button right here. Everything across there will be muted. If you click play, it's super offbeat. Also, if you double click, it'll bring up this menu. Let me just turn the volume down a little bit. So it's offbeat. So what you want to do is you want to double click and right click this time knob right here, and what that does is it stretches the time of like the speed of it. And then you go to 4 bars, because up here if you look, these are the bars: bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. At bar 5 there's been 4 bars, so that's the length you want it to be in order to be on time. So just click 4 bars, and then if you see right there, it just stretched so that it locks onto the grid perfectly. So then now if you play it, also you want to double click and right click pitch and click reset, because when you stretch it out, it'll affect the pitch. So you want to keep the pitch the same. Cool. And then you take the metronome off, and then unmute this, and then along with your pattern, now what you want to do is add bass. Now this is where the piano roll, this thing up here, comes into play. I'll show you real quick. Drums, 1-shots, 808. That's a great 808 for this song. This menu right here, you just make sure it's always on all so you can see everything. 808. Oh, also you want to give this audio file right here its own slot on the mixer, so 6, so that you can add effects later. And then put the 808 to 7. So an 808 sounds like this, if you don't already know. It's what you hear in 99% of rap songs these days. What you want to do is right click. Actually, I'm sorry, before you do that, click that, go to the tool, and I'm sorry, not the tool, this thing, and it affects, it's a complicated thing to explain. So if you're just starting out, I wouldn't worry about this, but I would turn down the attack, which is ATT, turn hold all the way up, turn decay all the way down, turn sus all the way down, and then turn release so that it looks like that. So like it affects this length, so it's like that. That way it doesn't bleed. Every time you hit the 808, it kind of just restarts the sound, and it's not like, it doesn't sound like a bunch of mush, a bunch of 808s playing at once. It's only one at a time. What you're gonna do is right click this on the channel rack, piano roll, which is the same as clicking this button up here. If that's selected, you click this button up here and it brings it up. So as you can see, it's all different pitches, and now you can play it out like it's on a keyboard. So if you're doing 808s, I would suggest scrolling up and doing super high notes, and then you can always bring them to the same notes except super low, so that they're bassy and boomier. But you want to keep it high when you're doing the melody, just so you know what you're actually doing. So it's this note right here is the first note we want to do. So you click that in with the pencil tool, and you can drag the length. Whoops. Gotta make sure that's all the way at the beginning. Velocity is its own beast. I'm not going to really go in depth with that, but you're going to turn that all the way up. That pretty much just, if you turn it all the way down, see how quiet it is? But if you turn it all the way up, it's like that. It just kind of controls each individual note's volume. So you do that. So I wanted to play this note to play again here. So then I want this to be the next note, so I'm going to do this. Now that you're doing that, though, you're going to want to repeat what you did over here so that it's longer. So you go on all your sounds, right click, piano roll, and you can see all the kick drums that you put in earlier. You'll see those right there. So you want them to repeat so they go up to the 5, same pattern. So you do command and then drag, and then that'll select all of them. And then you're gonna hold shift and drag so that it starts right at the 3. So then you'll see it's gonna do the same right after I do them for all of this. Same exact thing with the claps too. You're gonna drag and just put them in the same spot so that it's all even, all the way up to the 5. So it's that pattern goes up to the 5. Same thing with the hi-hats. And the snare. Cool. So I want it like that. So now I'm going to do Command L, or if you're on Windows, Control, Command L, and then it extends all the notes so that they're all the same length. Not all the same length. They extend to the beginning of the next note. That's what you want. And then what I'm going to do is, because these are so high pitched, I'm going to do Command and then down arrow, and that brings them down an octave. So it's... So if you do Command up, and then Command down, up, you know, go down one more, Command down, and then. Oh, and then you want to extend this to the 5, because that's where our loop is going to stop. And that, I just turned the volume down using this knob too. You can also do that. Actually, I'll show you the mixer. So if you go to the mixer, you see every sound has its own channel now. If you right click these green circles, you can solo them. So this is the kick. So you can right click, rename color, kick. And this one is clap. Cool, so we have all those in our channels. So now what we can do is we can go through each individual sound, not touching this master fader. We can go in and kind of turn them to the volume we want. So what I would do is I would turn them all down a little bit, because you always want to do these volumes quieter, and then you can always bring this volume up. I would turn all of them to 0 actually. So you're just starting with the kick and have it hit like halfway, around like 9 to 6. So then I'm going to bring up the clap to the right volume. Same thing with the hat. melody. Cool. So what you want to do is, now that you're at this point, you go up to pattern 1 here, click this drop down, and then click split by channel. So then, as you can see now, these, you drag them down, and it's all the individual sounds. And what you can do is you can lay them all out right here in their own individual track. You just highlight them all and then do Command B, and it duplicates. So pretty much what I do is I just bang like that. And then as an intro, you can right click with the pencil tool and then drag over, and it deletes. And you delete all the sounds other than the melody. And then it'll drop. And then if at a part you want like the hi-hats gone, or like in like the kick and the 808s, like right here, it's playing. So you can, like, at some parts you have all the drums, some parts you take some of the stuff out. If you added more melodies, you could take out some melodies, put some back in where like the choruses and things like that, where you want the song to be thicker and more full. So you just click space. It's like a little break in the song. Cool. So then I have it laid out like this, and let's just say you were done and you wanted to export the song. What you can do is you file, export, and then I would just, if you're not putting it out online or anything like that, and you're just it's for like people to buy, and you're just posting it for fun, or you just want it for your own listening purposes, I would do MP3. Make sure this is clicked off. I have it for other reasons on, but definitely don't put that on, because then it'll take all the individual sounds and export them, and you don't want that. So just make sure that's unclicked, and then click start. Bang, makes that little noise. So that's pretty much it. We just made a very simple trap beat using the Cymatic sample pack, 808 Mob. Again, all free, everything I use right there. Yes, I have the full version of FL, but everything I did you can do in the free version of FL Studio, and you can use it with those exact samples that I used. So definitely go check out their stuff. I'm not sponsored or anything, obviously, as you can see by my channel size, but they're definitely nasty, and I use a ton of their stuff. So that's it. If anybody needs any beats, needs mixing done, hit my DMs on Instagram at ITSH3X. Subscribe below, like below. Yeah, just hit my line if you need anything done, and see you next time. Peace.